What up, what up? Welcome to Mr. Brown's class where there's no whining and no complaining. Today we're looking at finding a percent of a number. The first thing though we have to do is learn how to turn a percent into a decimal or a fraction, because to solve these we need them in a decimal or a fraction, and sometimes it's easier to solve them as a decimal and sometimes it's easier if it's a fraction. And you'll learn the difference, right, and what works best for you. Right, so we have 15%, all right, and let's turn this into let's first always turn it into a fraction, right, at first, because then you'll see how this looks. Okay, so if we turn this into a fraction, right, 15%, right, percent means equals out of 100. So this means 15 out of 100. So 15 over 100. Now, we have to reduce this, but let's say this to ourselves. What is this? 15 hundredths. Well, how do we write that as a decimal? Right? We write that as a decimal as 15 hundredths. All right? 0.15. Right? So turn it into a fraction. All right, and then write it as a decimal. All right, now let's reduce this, and because this ends in a 5 and this ends in a 0, we can divide both by 5. 3/20. And that's all you can do. All right, so see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so let's do it as a fraction, and fraction first. Okay, 75 hundredths. All right, well, how's that as a decimal? That's 75 hundredths, 0.75. All right, now to reduce this, later on you could see that you could divide this by something larger, but we're going to divide this by 5. Right, and this by 5, so you're going to get 15/20. All right, divide both of these by 5. You're going to get 3/4. That's a reduced fraction. Okay, so that's your decimal. That's your fraction. All right, so what if we have a question? What is 75% of 20? All right, that's the question. Now we can solve this two ways. We can use the decimal, or we can use the fraction, and I'll show you both. All right, so we already figured out what 75% is both. Now, this is the whole, this is the part. Is means equals. All right, here's your percentage. Of means multiply, and that's the whole. So this means, like, let's say 75% of 20 students in your class wear red. All right, what is 75% of the class? All right, so 20 is the whole. Whenever it says of, you multiply. All right, so we can do 0.75, all right, times 20. All right, let's work that out. 0, 0, then let's go to here. That's 10, 14, 15. And we have 2 decimal places. All right, so our answer is 15. Now we could also have used 3/4, right, times 20. All right, And you could solve this by, remember that this is 20 over 1. Okay, so 3 times 20 is 60 over 4. Divide them. 4 goes into 60 one time. 4 goes into 25 times, so 15. So either way, you're going to get 15. All right. Now, I probably would have used the fraction one, all right, because I could have also reduced here. All right, we learned this. 1 goes into 20 5 times. And then we just do 3 times 5, which is 15. All right, that would have been the easier one for that one. All right, but either way works. Okay, let's try a different one. And this time, after I write it, I want you go ahead and try to solve it. Okay, so here we have Jamal correctly answered 80% of the 25 questions. How many questions did he answer correctly? So like I said before, when we have a problem like this, all right, you have to first figure out, well, you want to figure out what they want to know. But notice how it says 80% of. Remember that of means multiply. So we're going to take 80%, right, times 25. But again, we have to turn this either into a decimal, right, or a fraction. So 80%, okay, 80%, okay, is 80 over 100. Right, so that means as a decimal, it's going to be 0.80, which is just 0.8. All right, so we could do that. We could do 0.8 times 25. That might be pretty easy. Or we can take 80 over 100 and reduce that. Right, we can divide both by 10 because they end in 0. So 8 over 10, and then divide by 2, right, 4/5, right? So we could do either one. Right, again, of means multiply. So if we do 25 times 0.8, right, that's 0. 8 times 2, 16, 20. All right, and 1 decimal place, so our answer is going to be 20. All right, let's do 4/5. Multiply by 20 over 1. Right, now 5 goes into 20 4 times, so we can reduce right there. Oh, that's 25. So that would be 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times, and our answer is 20. Okay, you could have also done 4 times 25, which is 100, over 5, and that still equals 20. But reducing before you multiply fractions makes it a lot easier.